can for this very worthwhile cause. It doesn't matter whether it's $1, a dime, a nickel, a penny. So we appreciate you reaching into your pocket and doing what you can. And we appreciate everything that you do for automobile racing, for Tom's Kids, because I tell you, you race fans are the #1 sports fans in the world, right, Tom? And here they come. You've seen him a little bit earlier. Here's Davy Allison. Davy, welcome back to Tom Stuyvesant's Desoto Speedway. It's been about 3 years since we talked to you last, and you've come a long way since then.
Well, just about that time, back in October of '86, we were finalizing a deal with Harry Ranier for me to drive his car on the Winston Cup circuit, and everything worked out on it, and it's been going strong ever since. But, you know, Robert Yates just took over the team, and we were glad to get that first Winston Cup victory for him as a car owner last weekend.
Tell us about the race last Sunday at Talladega, Davey. It was an exciting event, and they went to the new restrictor plate, so it's kind of like starting over for you guys. Were you able to do a lot of testing with the car or with the new restrictor plate, or was it just kind of run it out of the box and see what happens?
Well, we didn't get a whole lot of time. We got to spend one day working on the car before we went down for the race, but, you know, that new restrictor plate is like when you mash the gas, it's like mashing on a marshmallow, but our marshmallow was a little bit tougher than everybody else's last week.
I tell you, on that last lap there, you had a rear-view mirror full of Terry Labonte and Mark Martin back there, and they looked like that with the deal at Talladega, you get in the draft. If you can get somebody to come with you, you've got a shot to go for the lead. Now, you were out front. Was that where you wanted to be on the last lap?
Well, I wanted to be out front with our Texaco Haviland Star Thunderbird and watch all those other guys behind me, because I knew if anybody was going to make a move, they were going to have to make it second, because I was going where they were wanting to go.
So Kenny Schrader was here last Saturday night, and he used a little tactic with the rearview mirror. So were you kind of perhaps doing a little bit of that at Talladega?
Well, you know, the only difference is Mark and Terry couldn't get a run at me. They could get up to me, but they couldn't get a run at me. So I never really had to crowd them. All I had to do was just drive my line around the racetrack.
I tell you, that victory really had to pick up the spirits of your team. We know you got off to a slow start at Daytona. You got upside down and then kept going again. I tell you, that must have been a wild ride.
Well, it was. It seemed like it happened in slow motion, and I was talking to the guys in the pits on the radio. I told them I'm upside down, and they said, this boy must have hit his head on a roll bar.
I tell you, then you came back, and it looks like the season's really starting to come together for you now.
Well, things have really turned around. You know, the guys on the team have just been working tremendously hard, and it's starting to pay off. We finally got caught up, and we can start concentrating on each individual race rather than the whole season, and that's helped us out quite a bit. And now we're anxious to get up to Charlotte and try to get that $100,000 bonus.
There you go. Now, you're in line for the Winston Million as well with the win at Talladega, right?
Well, there are two tracks on the circuit that we feel like owe us one, and one of them is Charlotte, and the other one is Darlington. If we can go get them two now, that's that Winston Million.
Boy, I tell you what, you've got the Winston coming up at Charlotte and the World 600, and those are back-to-back. Now, does that put a lot of pressure on the crew with two big races like that back-to-back?
Well, it puts a lot of pressure on the crew, but having this week off has really helped out. We've got another brand new race car that we're going to Charlotte with to run the Winston next week. We want to fill everything out on it and get it ready for the Coca-Cola 600 the following week.
Well, Davey, we wish you the best of luck of those races. Now, you've got some work to do tonight now here at Tom Stuyvesant's Desoto Speedway.
Roby, that's what I've been trying to do, and you've been running out here, running your mouth all night about what's going on here. I brought him in to run the Tom's Kids car, and I want to know how he feels in it tonight.
How about it, Davey?
Well, that thing was strong in the first heat race, and we had a little bit of a problem, but we got it all squared away, and we're ready for the feature.
Well, I tell you, Davey, you're starting in the back of the pack. You got a lot of good local drivers ahead of you that got a little bit of experience on this racetrack, but you're no stranger here. Did you remember some things from when you were here in '86?
Well, I remembered a few things from when I was here, but, you know, it's been a while, and in 2.5 years you can forget some of the basic things, and I think I brought them all back to the memory now.
Well, Davey, we were talking a little earlier, and you said the pressure's on because Kyle Petty's been here. He's won with the Tom's Kids car. Kenny Schrader was here last Saturday night, won with the Tom's Kids car, and you're here to try to make it 3 in a row.
Well, they put the pressure on me, that's for sure. But we came from the back of the pack last week to win at Talladega, and if we can do everything right tonight, we'll try to do that again.
All right, there you heard it. Davy Allison, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks, Davy. Well, race fans down here, it's my pleasure to introduce to you the leader of the Alabama gang from Hueytown, Alabama, B.A. Bobby Allison. Boy, I tell you, Bobby, that has got to feel good. I know you got a lot of friends and family down here in Florida, and we look forward to having you come down here and visit us.
Well, that's really nice. You know, I'll tell you, one of the things that really is great is to hear the big cheer and the people saying hello and everything. You know, that's really helped me come along, and it's really great here tonight.
I tell you, race fans, I don't think that was quite loud enough. I mean, let's help Bobby out here with some therapy. Let's hear it.
I'm almost well, thank you.
All right. Bobby, I know that you've probably been asked this question a million times since that day in June, but how is the recovery coming?
Well, I think it's coming along pretty good. The doctors are very happy with everything. You know, when they see me, they don't want to listen to my complaints. They want to tell me I look good. You know, I say, well, you know, my leg still hurts a little bit. Oh, well, you look good, you know. I said, well, my head still hurts a little bit. Oh, well, you look good. I said, well, I look good. I may as well go on home.
I tell you what, Bobby, we appreciate you taking the time out to come down here and visit us. And I tell you, every time you come here, it seems like half of the stands up there are members of your family. You go back to Hialeah, Florida, and I mean, you've got relatives scattered all over the state of Florida.
Well, that and the idea that we have an awful lot of good, close friends, people that spent time with us when we were young, people that we grew up with. You know, my mom raised 10 of us, and then she took in children from the home in the city there, and just give her such an awful lot of credit. You know, she did so much for all of us, and then did some more of the same thing for them. She and Dad live in Alabama now, right across the street from me and Judy there in Hueytown, and you know, I'm really proud of her still. You know, now she's got some great grandchildren that she's looking after, and she still looks after them pretty good. So, you know, it's really been a pretty neat deal for me.
I tell you, Bobby, another thing that we've read a lot in the magazines, and another thing that's helping your therapy is watching Davy. And I tell you had to be tickled to death Sunday at Talladega Super Speedway.
Well, I really did. You know, he did a nice job all day long. But as the race went on, you know, I began to get a little bit nervous and all, you know, I guess like I'm supposed to. And finally, pretty late in the race, Judy turned to me and said, "Now do you see what you've been doing to us for 20 years?" You know, I had to agree with her that if she's put up with that for 20 years, she's really done something.
Well, I tell you, you've given all of us here a lot of thrills over the years with your Winston Cup wins, and I tell you, one of the most exciting moments in motorsports was that Daytona 500 when you and Davey finished in second spot. And Bobby, I tell you, we wish you the best of luck and a speedy recovery, and we'd like to have you back here again because we love you and the fans love you, Bobby.
Well, thank you very much.
Donated this car to the Tom's Kids Foundation for abused and their children, and he said, give the thing away. And how about a nice round of applause for Kirk Pierce? Kirk, you're in Civies tonight. Where's the race car?
Well, we heard it last weekend and didn't get a chance to get it back together. We will be here next Saturday night to try to win the big 50-lap race, though, without a doubt. We will be here.
I tell you what, are you going to miss this race car?
Yes, sir, I am. It was the race car that taught me how to drive last season, and it's been with me for a couple of seasons, and it got my racing career started. But the wonderful fans down here in Bradenton, I'm certainly happy that it is going to go to one of these fine people out here, and thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Kirk. How about another nice round of applause for Kirk Pierce?
We need to give away the
Prizes. You can pick them up at the pit stop shop. We get the big 10:45 and 25:13. Got a driver already. You got a handful of those things. Probably took you a while to pick the right one. Yep, that's it. 1, 5, 3, 6, 7. What's your name, sir?
Ron Schuler.
Ron Schuler, congratulations. You are now a late model car owner. You've had time to... When did you buy that ticket?
Tonight.
You bought the ticket tonight. You haven't had much of an opportunity to think about what you would do, or have you? What are your plans for the race car?
I'm going to drive it.
You're going to drive it.
Right.
All right. Pretty potent automobile. You have any experience racing?
About 18 years.
That's enough.
But I don't have a license. Can I drive it?
This man needs a NASCAR license, Sue Cole. You got a driving suit and a helmet?
Nope. Got a helmet, but not here.
Okay. Well, I tell you what. When do you think you'll have the car out in action? As soon as possible?
Next week.
I tell you, Davy just took a $100 bill and put into the helmet for Butch Lindley. How about a nice round of applause for Davy? I tell you, I know that Butch, right before his accident, had been spending a lot of time in Birmingham and that area working with Frankie Grill and Neil Bonnet, and Butch is a very special person to us all.
Well, Butch really was a good friend of mine too, and Butch had a sideline job that he built and used cars, and another good friend of mine by the name of Max Easterwood used to let Butch stay with him when he came into Hueytown. So actually, when he came to Birmingham, he stayed right at Hueytown and only 2 doors down from where I lived at the time. So we spent a lot of time together, and when Butch got hurt down here, it hit hard to me because he was such a good friend of mine.
Well, I tell you, we really appreciate the donation, Davey. Thanks a lot.
Well, I'm just glad to be able to help out now.
Come on, Davey. Let's get going. Let's get that car up front tonight.
He's a hard... How'd you like to have to drive for this guy in the Winston Cup circuit?
Well, he's got the kind of spirit I like.
All right. Outside row number 6. Richard Hines smoking into turn number 1. Gets a little bit high on the pace. Bill Bigley Jr. looking for racing to caution.
lap late model championship race, plus our 5 other weekly NASCAR racing divisions. License plate number FRE01. Davy Allison fourth, Edward Howell in fifth. Set to go back to green. 18 laps in the books, 22 laps to go. Bill Bigley Jr. out of Naples on the point. Here they come. Green flags out. We're racing. Bill Bigley Jr. opens up a 2-car length advantage down the back straightaway. Frank Johnson. Chevrolet in turn number 2. The third spot. Bigley and Allison working those automobiles back and forth to get as much heat as they can in those tires. Here we go. Green flags out. We're racing. Bigley jumps right out to a 2-car length advantage. And the caution flag back out on the Speedway is Drew Stolik and Grenade. And a lot of smoke coming out of car number 15 as that thing hit the wall and really came up. 6th is Dean Varnador. 7th is James Wilson. 8th, Frank Johnson. 9th, Ron Woodcock. 10th is Mickey Wright. 11th, Dave Bronner. Bigley setting the slow pace. Before he comes off the throttle. Green flags out. We're racing. Bigley grabs the 2-car length advantage into turn number 1. Allison trying to really as Edward Howe looks for the inside down the back straightaway. Here he comes. Here comes Randy Warren in the 80 car. Looks like Davy Allison falling off the pace a little bit in car number 1. And now Bill Bigley Jr. down the back straightaway as Allison drops back to 4th spot. Car number 28 out in front. Edward Howe in 2nd spot looking for racing room. And Purcell and Varnador spin in turn number 1. He collects James Wilson in the 12. Bill Bigley Jr. out in front. Edward Howe looks to the outside down the back straightaway. Now 1 lap to go. Bigley leads the field down to turn number 1. Howe taking a peek at the outside. No room there. Here they come off at turn number 2. If Howell's going to make a move, he's going to have to do it now. Looking for the inside. Here they come as Bill Bigley Jr. will take the win with Edward Howe in 2nd. 3rd is Randy Warren. 4th is James Wilson and Frank Johnson out of Plant City. And car number 17 rounds out the top 5.